Hello guys, this is Miss Hanley here. We're continuing in your packet, filling in notes. It says notes number 1 and 2 at the top, changing forms of equations, or converting forms of equations. This corresponds with assignment 2, their State Your Facts worksheet, in the Systems of Equations unit that we're working on. So, you just saw how to change from slope-intercept form into standard form, and we want to examine what happens if we need to go the opposite direction. Okay, so as we just talked about here, we're going from standard form, which is ax plus by is equal to c. Alright, and we're going to change that into slope-intercept form, or y equals mx plus b. Right? So when you do this conversion, you have two steps here. The first, if we're going to start in standard form, is to move ax to the right. And that's simply because when you look at our slope-intercept form here, the x term is on the right-hand side, whereas in standard form it's on the left. So we're reversing the process that we did previously. And then your next step is to divide by the b value. And I'm using capital B here because I'm talking about the b that is in the standard form equation, not the y-intercept lowercase b in slope-intercept form. So I'm actually going to do one of the examples from the State Your Facts worksheet. I'm going to do the first one. And the equation that they give us is 3x minus 4y is equal to 12. So we need to be able to identify the slope and the y-intercept. So I want to convert from one form to the other so that I can easily spot my slope, or m, and my y-intercept, or b. Alright, so here we go. First step, like I said, to move ax. In this case, it is 3x, and if this is a positive 3, we need to subtract 3x from both sides. So remember, you're subtracting from both sides of your equal sign. So take away 3x on the left and the right-hand side of your equal sign. And now I'm left with negative 4y is equal to, we want to line this up so it looks like slope-intercept form. So I want to put the x term first and then the constant value second. So here I'm going to write it as negative 3x plus 12. You're not wrong if you have 12 minus 3x, but it's just not the usual way that we see it, but that can be perfectly fine. So now let's go and solve for y completely, and we do that by dividing by the b value. The b value was negative 4, so that's the number in front of y. Remember, it's negative 4 times y, so we need to divide here, not add 4 to both sides. And the key here is to remember to divide each piece by negative 4. So when I do that, the negative 4 over negative 4 gives me 1. So I'm left with y equals, here I have negative 3x over negative 4, which would simplify to 3 over 4x. And then lastly, I have 12 divided by negative 4, which would be negative 3. And so there we have our slope-intercept equation, y equals 3/4 x minus 3. And we also want to be able to identify the slope and y-intercept. Well, we know the slope comes before x, it's the value before x. So my slope here is 3/4, and my y-intercept, or the b value, is negative 3. So here I want to show you an alternative way, sort of a shortcut, if you will, to find your slope and y-intercept from standard form. You may have learned back in Algebra 1 that you can sort of cover up, if you want to solve for the x-intercept, you can cover up the y value and divide. So here you would get 3x equals 12. So x is equal to 4, right? And that's because your x-intercept is found when y is equal to 0. Similarly, you could cover up the x term and divide, so that would leave us with negative 4y equals 12. So then y would have to be negative 3. So there you found an x-intercept and a y-intercept, which that you could use to easily graph. But we also want to be able to find a slope pretty quickly. So let's take a look on the right-hand side of our screen at standard form. Ax plus by is equal to c. If I want to solve this for y, for slope-intercept form, with all variables here, we just want to sort of manipulate this, we would first take away the ax term from both sides, and we're left with by is equal to negative ax plus c. Then we said we had to divide the b value away. And so our result is y is equal to negative a over b x plus c over b. Well, if you look at this now, negative a over b, that's where your slope would sit. So that's an easy way to find slope, is to take the a value and divide it by the b value and change the sign. Your y-intercept is going to be the c value divided by the b value. And if you needed to find an x-intercept, it would be the a value divided by, the c value divided by the a value. So let's sort of summarize that, and then we can see if we can apply that to our original equation here. Okay, so we said our slope is going to be equal to negative a over b. Our y-intercept, or b value, is equal to c over b. And our x-intercept is going to be equal to c divided by a. So in our equation we have 3x minus 4y is equal to 12. So a is equal to positive 3, b is equal to negative 4, and c is equal to 12. And so when I want to find my slope, I have negative a, which would be 3, divided by b, which is negative 4. You always take the sign of the b value as well, which would be 3/4. Well, hey, that's the same slope that we got when we solved our equation for y. To find our y-intercept, or our b value, lowercase b, we would take c, our constant, 12, and divide it by the b value, which is negative 4. So here we get negative 3. Well, no way. That's the same y-intercept we got when we were doing it the first way. And then if I want to find my x-intercept, I could just take c, which is 12, and divide it by a, which is 3. So there we would have 4. So I could put a point on my x-axis at 4, on my y-axis at negative 3, and use the slope up 3 to the right 4 to get from one point to the next, So this little shortcut can be really handy and would be a good idea to put in your notes somewhere, so that you can go back to that and use that when you want to find or graph the slope, y-intercept, or x-intercept of a standard form linear function.